Well, Robert Downey Jr. thinks that men Star Wars and the entire planet should be a matriarchy. I'm going to talk about that in this video. Now, before I jump in, I have a quick request from this side of the camera. If you're coming in, if you clicked on this link, please smash the like button. And also, please consider subscribing to the channel. That would help me and that would help the channel in terms of engagement and ascending in this YouTube algorithm/world. Okay, so I just wanted to come in here and quickly address Robert Downey Jr.'s interesting comments about men starting wars and the entire world being a matriarchy. This involved Oppenheimer. Thank you to everyone who watched my Oppenheimer review and smashed the like button. That's very much appreciated. If you haven't seen Oppenheimer, this is not going to be a spoiler in any way, but it's going to get to something that Robert Downey Jr. said in that was captured in an article. I'm going to read that article. But before I jump in, I just want to say that he was great in that movie as Louis Strauss. I will forever be a Robert Downey Jr. fan for portraying Tony Stark and Iron Man in phases 1 through 3 of the MCU. He is one of the things that made phases 1 through 3 phenomenal, in my opinion. And I go way back. A lot of Gen Xers go way back to the 1980s with Robert Downey Jr. I'm thinking about Weird Science. And I'm thinking about that other movie where he was a drug addict. And I think Molly Ringwald was in that. And I can't think of the other guy's name. But if you're a Gen Xer, then you probably go way back with Robert Downey Jr. as well. He had some drug problems. And he had a pretty tumultuous young adult life. He rebounded. And now in this season of his life, he's doing great things. I haven't really heard any of Robert's political takes or any of his social takes up until now, but this one is interesting. I think it was said in the atmosphere of the Oppenheimer movie, and it involves male and female leadership. So I'm going to cue the article up and we're going to go through it. It's short. This article comes from Bounding Into Comics. There is a picture of Robert Downey Jr. playing Louis Strauss. This is entitled Oppenheimer actor Robert Downey Jr. declares men start wars and the entire planet should be a matriarchy. This was written by John F. Trent and it was published on July 8th, 2023. Robert Downey Jr., who plays Louis Strauss in Christopher Nolan's upcoming Oppenheimer film, recently declared he believes the entire planet should be a matriarchy after filming the movie. There's a picture of him again. In a recent interview about the upcoming film with the Associated Press, the outlet asked, "I was curious if you took away any commentary on patriarchy and war." Downey Jr. responded, "Men start wars and the entire planet should be a matriarchy, but I've never changed position on that." That's interesting. Would there be less wars and violence amongst countries under female leadership? And throughout history, would there have been fewer wars amongst countries around the globe under female leadership? Would there have been a World War I? Would there have been a World War II? Would there have been a Vietnam War? Well, we'll never know at this point. Maybe in the future we will know, as female leadership seems to be ramping up. When asked if he already had that going into the film, he replied, "Well, this was just a triple confirmation." Earlier in the interview, Downey Jr. stated, "Context is so critical. The timing of the Manhattan Project, the need for it, the deployment of it, necessary or not, you can read plenty of data that would support either. But regardless, the why can be debated. But they're here, but the here we are now, that's the cold hard truth." So being able to understand Chris Nolan's direction to kind of invite the audience to be involved in this meditation, it's kind of, we all know the films of the last 50 years have kind of been important in the way as well as entertaining and thrilling and just cool to watch. And I guess that's the transcendent thing about certain films. And I got to be in one. Yeah. Downey added, "It's arguable that we are less safe now than at the height of the Cold War. It's a lot to take in, but I think that great films are meant to humble us to the point where we can have these sorts of dialogues to begin with." Downey does not usually make bizarre comments like this, unlike many of his peers. However, at the premiere of his Doolittle film, he seemingly admitted to becoming a vegan. While praising his wife and producer of the film Susan, he told Variety, "She is the greatest creative producer in the history of cinema, and I make faces for cash and chicken, even though, no, I'm off chicken now." His wife responded, "Not chicken anymore." Variety reported Downey retorted facetiously, "I'm going plant-based for cash and legumes." There's a picture of Christopher Nolan and Robert Downey Jr. playing Louis Strauss. Back in 2019, he also launched a company called the Footprint Coalition, where he aims to clean up the planet with robotics and nanotechnology. During the announcement, he described himself as a one-man carbon footprint nightmare colossus. Okay. Apparently, part of cleaning up the planet is convincing people to eat bugs. The Footprint Coalition invested in French farming setup Y Winsect back in 2020. The company aims to revolutionize the food chain, which literally starts from the basics, insects, and soil. The company's founder, Antoine Hubert, also noted Y Insect, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, isn't just about insect farming. With climate change and increasing populations worldwide, we need to produce more food with less available land and fewer resources so that we're not clearing the forests and emptying our oceans. We believe Y Insect can play a pivotal role in this global solution. Hubert also said that Downey's investment would help the company convince people to eat bugs. It could also help us increase our visibility, especially among younger people. Downey Jr. is famous for his movies, and at the same time, he's a lot of humanity. I'm sorry, and at the same time, has a lot of humanity, using the money he made from films to help clean up the planet. What do you make of Downey Jr. claiming the planet should be run by a matriarchy? I'm leaving this link below in the description box. There are several readers left their thoughts on Downey Jr.'s comments. So everyone, let me know what you think in the comments section below about Robert Downey Jr.'s comments regarding the world would be safer under female leadership or a matriarchy. Would there be fewer wars under female leadership? I don't know. Who knows? That's his opinion. I won't disparage him for that. But We know that, as described in the article, uh, many actors and individuals from Hollywood, sometimes they say bizarre things, but they're artists, and sometimes artists say bizarre things. This is Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to the channel. If you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below in the description box. And also, please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter. In addition to being a YouTube content creator, I'm also a writer with 2 blogs and a book project on the way. Well, I will continue to create content here that I think is interesting and that I think in my audience, my growing audience, will find interesting. And it's always interesting and fascinating to hear what the actors and actresses and the Hollywood people have to say. I don't know that they're always in touch with the rest of the world, but they always have interesting things to say. All right, everyone, as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.